Well, good evening, everybody, or good afternoon, depending upon where you are on this big blue ball. I'm Bourbon Neophyte. You can just call me Anthony, and today is a special edition of Bourbon Neophyte. It is my Spirits and Leaf. And I also decided to do this for the people on the East Coast because I have been getting requests to come back to this time slot either permanently or on some type of a rotating basis. But haven't quite decided yet. I'm going to just ponder it a bit. I may, who knows, don't know. But unfortunately, I don't like to stream when some other streamers are streaming because even though you stream when you want to stream, I don't like to infringe on their time. So you might be able to tell I'm not in my normal setting. I'm outside. So I do apologize if it sounds noisy or anything like that. So do me a favor. Let me know how things are, what it sounds like. I know you might, in the distance, you might hear the ACs click on and off because it is Las Vegas, and I can tell you right now it's like 101 degrees and the humidity just shot up. And also, it's been nice. It's been sunny all day. And then in the last 30 to 40 minutes, the storm clouds have decided to roll in. And as I'm looking to the south and I look over here to the east, it's like really, and the wind's picking up. So I had to make some changes out here and took some stuff down. So we're going to see how this goes. But that's what I want to know, Brian. It sounds great. And that's the whole thing because I am multitasking myself. Not only do I have this thing on StreamYard, I am rewatching myself on YouTube at the same time to make sure the picture is clear because I had to remove some lights. So I had to adjust the settings on the camera to adapt for that. And now that I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at myself now, everybody sees me okay. And that's what I was worried about. So perfect. So that being said, everybody, we're going to kind of jump into this. And I just want to say hello to a few people that have popped in here. I saw Bad Axe in here earlier and always appreciate it when he pops in. Mr. Reynolds, thank you for coming in. Doug, Sugar Kitty, Brian, of course, Slapshot, John Kearns, cheers, man. Great to have you. Dano, cheers. Doug H. And, of course, my peeps over there on the East Coast down there in Tennessee, Top Dog. Always wonderful to have you all here. Yes, I know it's kind of a different time slot, but we're going to see. But before this, I got kind of hung up watching Four Leaf Whiskey and her guest that she has on today. And love Stacy's channel. Love watching her. I think she does a terrific job. What she does and going over different Irish whiskeys. I think she's got a good niche. But she has a guest on there, and he said how much he loves peated scotch. Oh, yes, now you're talking my language. But he said an abomination, that he did not like Lefroy. And it had that iodine and Band-Aid taste, and I thought, I have to turn it on. Just kidding, Stacy. I was watching up until this point. I'm just funning with you and your guest. That's all. But doesn't like peated scotch. Please. Or, excuse me, he does like peated scotch. He is not a fan of Lefroy, which, in all fairness, to each his own. You know, Lefroy is a pretty heavy hitter when it comes to peat. However, because he made that statement, I have a bottle of something here that I'm going to see how well it pairs tonight with a particular tobacco. So let's move on right to this, and do me a favor, everybody. Smash that like button. If you are new to the channel, please do me a favor. Subscribe and then click on the bell so you do get the notifications. It's important to do that, and particularly important to subscribe. It really helps us out and gets me more watches on YouTube when you keep smacking that like button. So appreciate it. But we're going to get right to this. One of the things I wanted to talk about was something that I had recently received and wanted to try. And it's by Sutliff Tobacco. And it is a special limited release edition, whatever you want to call it. But let me hold it up here. It's called Pipe Force episode. Hold on. Ooh, excuse me. Sneeze came on too quick. Couldn't hit the mute button, so I apologize. So, Pipe Force. Sorry about that. Guess it's getting breezy and blowing the dust around, but this is a English blend through and through, in my opinion. Those of you that aren't sure what an English blend is, let me just put it in a nutshell. There's no toppings, generally. No toppings, no casings, no added flavors, non-chill filtered, no color added, blah, 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 all the good stuff. Okay. Premium quality, pure tobacco in its finest. There are some English tobaccos out there that will have just maybe a light casing, topping, but very, very, very mild on there. And I have read about them here and there. But anyway, this particular one that we're talking about today comes in a great plug form. So if some of you ever saw your grandparents' tobacco when they pulled out a plug and they ripped off a piece and put it between their lips and teeth and gums and pulled it off, I'm going to hold this up here real quick just so you can take a look at it. And I pulled some off from the edge. It pulls off just fine. But it's a nice piece of plug tobacco right here. And man, it has a great nose of like dark fruits. So plum, fig on there. Real sweet earthiness. I'm okay. It's getting a little different. So hold on here. We're going to have a little interruption. You'll still be able to hear me. I just saw some lightning, and so it may interfere, but I know you guys can hear me. So I apologize on that. Just give me a moment here and we'll be back. Like I said, I know you can still physically hear me, but it may be messing with the connections and everything out here. So just let me know if you guys can still hear me right here and now as we go along. Okay. Yes, good. That's what I want to know. You guys can hear me. And I apologize. Like I said, there's a storm coming and it just went south. So give me a moment here. And what I'm going to try to do is switch different connections here at the house and see if we can at least get a picture back, because this is just not going to work well without it. But it happens. So just give me just a moment. Apologies. All right, we're going to see how this goes. Change some stuff. I may make one more small little change to this, so it should be coming back up. We will see. Bingo. Okay, we're going to see if this will work. Yeah, there's no rain, but the storm clouds around are out of nowhere. I mean, it just happens, and I'm just looking left, looking right. And this is what happens when you are in monsoon territory. It just happens this way. So, that being said, this, if you guys can see it, this is what it looks like once you pull it off and prepare it to go in there. So you break it up a bit. It's a really, really nice leaf, and it really doesn't need any drying time, but that's a preference thing. You decide what you want to do. I like to leave this out a little bit just prior to smoking, because I do prefer sometimes they be a little drier. So one of the things I'm going to go ahead and put this in is going to be in my Peterson Dublin D like David. It is a Ireland edition. You can only get it over there or the UK, and it's designated with a D, like I said, on there. So I picked this up at an estate sale. So pretty nice little Peterson. 35 years old, give or take 30 years. I forget what it said, 30 years, 35 years. Right in there. Anyhow, it's pretty darn nice little pipe. It holds a decent amount of tobacco, and I'm not going to load it up for bear, but and in my glass, while I'm getting this prepared, I poured a little Magnolia rye coming in at 50 ABV or 100 proof, just to kind of go with this, because if any of you read the description inside there, you kind of might know what this tobacco is going to be like. Let me just try some here real quick. All right, here we go. Hope that wind noise isn't too much for you all. Let me know if it is. Again, my apologies, but it was not like this before we started here, or before even I started. But I'm using, in the glass, you might see this because I don't prefer ice, I'm using a whiskey stone in there, just to keep it from getting too hot. Anyway, wow, not too bad there. I mean, I like that whiskey. Sorry, caught me off my guard a little bit, but I think this wind is what's really gonna cause issues here tonight. But actually, believe it or not, to me right now, I'm just sweating like a sinner in church sitting out here. But you know, all this wind and this breeze, it's kind of making it a little more enjoyable out here. But I don't know. Okay, good. That's what I want to know. 4-leaf whiskey sent here. Well, she's all right. She didn't have to hurry up or anything on my part, but I know she likes to keep her streams about an hour and a half. So anyway, I've got this thing packed up, and we're gonna talk a bit about what's in here. Let me pull up my notes here real quick. So I apologize. I got it here. Bingo. Okay. So Pipe Force, and I already told you it's an English mixture, but it has two different, well, yes, can you hear the thunder? It has two very, I don't say they're rare, but you don't always have them in tobacco. But it has Rustica and it has Katerini. And the difference in these ones are they stoved them, which gives them a rich, smoky, um, woodsy flavor to them. And they do it with Kentuckies, they do it with Virginia tobaccos also. So it's not anything new or an unusual process or anything like that. It's just when you have those types of tobaccos, Latakia, Orientals, Turkish, Virginias in there, the Rustica, um, not all the time is it stoved. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all the details about Rustica and Katerini, and that's just something that you can look up. But this is pure tobacco, like I said, no toppings, no nothing on it. And so let's see what we got. My goodness, the wind is just going to town over here, but that's all right. Let's get down to brass tacks. Like I said, right now in the glass, I've got Magnolia Rye, and I am going to switch this at some point over to something peaty, smoky, meaty, because what I know about this already and what I have sampled already prior to this, this is it's going to be the way to go. However, your preference is your preference. What you like to drink, when you like to drink it, how you like to drink it, makes no difference. If that's what you like, that's always what you go with. That's for sure. So hold on here. Wow. Okay. Very, how do I say this? It's floral, herbal, and I'm going to say that's either coming from the Oriental or the Katerini. I'm not 100% sure, but Oriental usually has some spice to it and kind of floral and herbal essence on it. The I did get a little zest or tang from the Virginia tobaccos on there on the tongue, and people wonder, well, how do you get that? Well, it's like a whiskey. Once you know a particular, let's say, grain in whiskey, you can pick out the caramels, the sugars, pears, peaches, plums. You know how we talk about when we're drinking whiskeys, different spices, and so it gets to be the same with tobacco. Whenever you start to really delve into it and learn about it and read more about it, not necessarily smoking, but you can read about it and then understand these blends better as you move along in your process. Wow. Okay. Sorry. I just had to I definitely got that Virginia zest across the tongue there, and I know I'm staring off into the distance a little bit there, but just watching the lightning strike, you just can't help it. You know, it's like a train wreck. You just can't take your eyes off it. But when you see it's like boom, it goes over there. But does not mean we will get one darn drop of rain over here. That's the sad thing about it. And it could be raining 15 miles from here. I mean, just pouring. Have no idea. I've seen it rain 3 blocks away and the sun is still shining over my house. Very weird. But let me see here. All right, wind, cooperate. Yes, we're cooperating now. Yeah, stoutness definitely coming, fuller body, definitely coming from Rustica, peppery sensation. Smokiness from the Latakia. I love Latakia. I love Orientals mixed with Virginia. When I had this blend for the first time, I can tell you I was not impressed at all. Good retrohale. Very medium to full bodied, peppery. But I wasn't impressed on the first one. And I thought it was lackluster. I was a little disappointed. I was a little disappointed with it. So I decided that I'm going to pair it with a rye, but finished in peated Scotch barrel. And that made the difference. Now, that being said, it's like anything we do. Generally, don't judge things by the first glass, whatever it is that you are. And sometimes, as we all know, that when it comes to whiskeys, get it down to the shoulder, put the cork back in it, put it on the shelf for 10 days, 3 weeks, a month. Give it a chance to open up and, kind of come to life. Well, tobacco, I found out, is the same way. So yeah, it's very rich, it's very smoky, it's herbal, and a little musk, if that's right. I don't know how else to put it, but I kind of read that and it made sense to me. Okay. If you're expecting it to explode with flavor like some whiskeys, no. You have to understand what an English blend is and know what you're getting and able to appreciate the tobaccos and the blend that the creator made. So, and it also helps to like them. And which is like anything else, when we pick a whiskey, we look at one, who made it, the mash bill. Oh yeah, I like this stuff. The proof. So, yep, it's something I'd like to try. So we throw our money down, we grab the bottle and walk out. Kind of no different in tobacco than whiskey. You look who made it. Yeah, I like the maker. Yep, I like the blender. Yep, I like those leaves. Seems like a good blend. All right, I'll lay my money down and give it a shot. But when you're new, you're experimenting. You're back and you're forth. You're back and you're forth. You're trying to figure out what you like and what you don't like. Sorry, I like Magnolian. That sip was pretty good right then and there. But yeah, you figure out what you like, you don't like. So you're kind of treading the waters. You get some hitters and you get some shitters. Whiskey, tobacco makes no difference. Some that just hit it right off the spot, others don't. So like I said, when the first pipe I had of this, I just was not a huge fan. It wasn't terrible, it wasn't anything like that. I got the Latakia, I got the Rustica, I got the Virginias. I think it was the Katerini that I never had before, and I wasn't sure how to take it. I wasn't sure what it had to offer on there, and I was kind of twisted in the wind on this particular blend, but get into that second and third pipe. Give yourself time in between that first and second pipe. This is where I found the whiskey did help. And there is no bite, by the way. People ask, well, is there a bite? Bite is usually you're going to get a bite from the toppings, the casings, the stuff they put into it to give it flavor. So when you're into, what I find is when you're into pure tobaccos with no toppings, no casings, no flavor added, you don't get a bite. However, you may get, and some people describe it as a raw feeling. It kind of makes their tongue raw or something like that. Certain tobaccos like Perique, Burley, of course, Rustica, can do that. And sometimes people tell me, oh, I get it from red Virginias. I get it from Stoved Virginias. I get it from bright Virginias. Yeah, it's to each his own. But they describe these things. And of course, I listen intently because I don't quite always understand what they're talking about because I'm a neophyte when it comes to this. But it's great experiences and to learn, but also to be able to sit here and talk to others just frankly, in plain language like we like to do when we're talking about whiskeys. And this particular one, like I said, it's a limited release. Smoking Pipes had it today for about $16.50 a tin. Don't quote me on it, but it's right there. It could be $15.60, but let's just say $16.50 for sake of argument. It was still available. I would definitely say it is worth a try if you like English. And like I said, it's medium to full on the body. The room note is okay on there. The strength, as far as it, I would definitely lean more towards medium full on it. Really, I would. But that's me. I've heard other people describe it on the high side of light to low medium. And I'm like, what do they be smoking? But again, to each his own. What you like is what you like. But like I said, it's not bad. It is not bad at all. It's up to you. If you like these. Oh, I got this question a while ago. Does the pipe make the difference due to the type of tobacco it is? My opinion, and also I've asked others, that is a no. Some people will say that it does make a difference, and that's fine. That's their opinion. But my thing is whether you smoke it in a bent apple, whether you smoke it in a system pipe from Peterson, whether you smoke it in a Bulldog. Those are just types of pipes. In my opinion, it would make no difference. It's what you like or what you don't like. And that being said, if you like it in one pipe, then that's the way it is. Actually, we're getting a little bit of rain. I mean, that much. So, that being said, with the just straight rye with this particular whiskey, it is nice. I like the way the rye spice works with this. So last night, I had the High West double rye finished for, I think it's 9 months in a peated Scotch barrel at about, I think it was 50.5 ABV on that one, if I remember correctly. And that wisp of peat that was on there went quite well with the tobacco. So then I was like, well, if that works there, then let's see what we have in my favorites in a single malt. So, and you all know how much I love this, and I got a little bit of sarcasm in there. However, now that it has had a chance to sit, I thought about this and said, oh, this is going to be good. So I pulled out my Lagavulin Offerman edition, the charred oak. And if you all remember, in the beginning, I did not like this at all. Yeah, it was not in my wheelhouse, but I didn't give up on it. I drank it to the shoulder. I choked it down, and I don't know if you guys can see this. However, yeah, there's a dent in it, but I also shared it. It wasn't like I just kept it to myself. No, I shared it to get other people's opinions. But I think that this, and I'm going to pour a little bit of it, because of the deep char in the barrel with the type of tobacco this is, I think that this is going to be an excellent. Yeah, I mean, the char on this, I could smell the smoke. I mean, right off the bat when I popped that. And I haven't touched this thing in months. Matter of fact, I don't think I've touched it since I did the second stream on it when I re-reviewed this. So, yeah, I mean, I know I haven't. I haven't touched it. So let me pour this. And I'm keeping this whiskey right now because it's just so darn warm here. I've got it in a little cooler. When I say cooler, it's just a little soft cooler with a reusable ice pack in there because, like I said, it's 101 degrees around. But this slight rain, and it's sun shining right in front of me, but right here over me, the rain's coming down. I don't know if you can hear it because I have a metal roof up here. But anyway, let me fire this thing back up. Ooh. So now I poured this Offerman edition in the charred oak. Let me take a sip here. Oh yeah, very nice on the retrohale with that peat. Now, what I have noticed is I get that little bit of rawness on the tongue, but when I maybe probably the whiskey numbs it, but when I use the whiskey with the viscosity so that some of it's slightly oily, I think that coats it. But the peat with this is excellent. It's excellent. So there might be a chance for this charred oak Offerman I have. Yeah, I can definitely taste the woodsiness, the earthiness, very smoky, rustica, Latakia, the Katerini. The herbal floral notes on the Oriental. And generally the Oriental will give you some spice. But swishing that around a bit in the mouth, and nice retrohale. A peated Scotch does well with this blend. A peated Scotch does very well with this blend, and that Offerman is going well with this blend, that charred oak. Yeah. Wow. That is nice. Very nice. Hmm. Yeah, I do like it. I saw that, John, you had poured yourself a Game of Thrones. Sorry, I'm not eyeballing checks. I don't have it up in front of me. It is there, but it's far enough away out of my reach on my other monitor. I can't see it. But hold on, let me bring up my stuff here on the old iPad. There we go. All right, now I can go back here and see. Oh yeah, I know Stacy was in there. Yeah, Stacy, I couldn't believe it. He talked bad about Lagavulin, or excuse me, Lefroy. Pardon me. I'm like, that's an abomination. An abomination to talk like that about such a fine, fine whiskey. So, wow. It's amazing how this has. I'm just talking about the Offerman right now with this pipe, but this Offerman to me has improved greatly over time because I think I picked it up and did my first review of it September last year. And then I did my re-review of it either in late October or very early November and haven't touched it since. Well, look. Look. Let me, I have to go to the other one because I got to highlight this. Yes. Thank you. Love you too, lady. But, you know, okay, careful now. Don't be talking bad about my Lefroy. And I am kidding. To each his own. And Ardbeg and Brooklady. Oh, yes, absolutely. Or Bunnahabhain. You know, Bunnahabhain 12 probably would go good with this too. Because it might give you enough peat that you might like, but with a little more sweet. And you might like that mixture with this. I'm thinking myself. So it's just weird. Directly to the east, I'm looking. Blue skies, small white clouds here and there. Look over here to the far northwest, that way. And it's just as dark can be. And like I said, it is just sometimes the weirdest thing during our monsoon seasons out here and how the storms just roll through here. Really, it is. Really, it's just weird. That's right, Sugar Kitty. Do not say anything bad about Long Branch because I don't think there's anything that hasn't been said bad about Long Branch that anybody could surprise me with. Yeah, it's crap. Well, then you need to tell him he needs to get in touch with me because we need to do a Scotch stream peated, and you got to be on too, Stacy. Or I'll have him on mine with you. You know, we'll get him in. We'll set that hook for sure. We'll set that hook for sure. But let me get this thing fired back up because I got to chatting and watching the wind, and I think we're going to get a break here in a little bit. I kind of put a storm tracker up on the other side of my screen, so I'm kind of watching it and watching what they say about the wind because it could just get so windy at any moment that I'd have to end the stream because things will start blowing around. But as long as it's not annoying to you all, I don't know if you hear it and all or not, but it's actually gotten quite nice out here. But I'm going to finish this. Hold on. And I'm going to pour another one. Not of this, something else. A little higher ABV, right around 53 in a peated scotch. Oh, TikTok doesn't compare, Stacy. Just like Instagram. That's why I don't like to do lives on Instagram. If I do, it's a short, and I think I've only ever done 2 or 3 ever on Insta. But yeah, the interaction is terrible. Hey, Big Vic, cheers, brother. God, I'm telling you, this charred oak Offerman and this particular blend of tobacco, man, it's hitting the spot. I know I said I wouldn't buy a backup of the charred oak, but after this, it might have some possibilities now, but I'm not paying $100 a bottle for it. It's still on the shelves, and I am sure they'll drop it by another 10 or 15, maybe just to blow it out, maybe another $20 here coming up, because it's still on the shelf a year later. Oh, Z-Man, I want the storm to come. I hope you get it too. All right. Last sip of the Lagavulin here. Just allowing that to just swish around my mouth like mouthwash, and then it's great. So, Vic, the bottle is the Offerman 11-year-old, the charred oak edition, the one that came out last year, that I was not a fan of until it opened up, and I said it's now palatable, because I was not happy with the char level. I thought the char level was too overpowering, but once it opened up, it got more palatable. But I haven't touched it since probably November. But when I got this particular blend of tobacco, I said, wow, it is so smoky, so rich, peppery. I go, a good peated whiskey would probably do it. So I used the High West double rye, finished for 9 months in a Scotch barrel, and it was like, holy smokes. And that was 100 proof. Like 101 proof. I think it was 50.5, 50.9. I can't remember. I got the bottle in the house. But anyway, it was 100 proof. And I was like, oh, this is something now. So that's how this all came to be. And if you can find that for $70 now, John, you let me know. And I'll probably pick one up and just Venmo you or PayPal you. But let me know if you come across it. Sugar Kitty would too in a heartbeat. Because sometimes you guys will get deals before I will out here. And then being that my nephew's in Delaware, I've got low friends in high places. It just depends on where we are. But all right, down the hatch. Truthfully, on the retrohale, it is absolutely amazing right now. And just the little sips really mixes nice with the tobacco. The Stoved Rustica, the Stoved Katerini. Wow. Really good. Really good. Okay. Now. Oh, by the way, Brian, check this out. Are you getting the hint? You got the idea? We'll chat. Anyway, the next one that I know is going to go good, but I had to try a higher ABV because I just couldn't not. So, and because somebody mentioned this earlier today, I had to go and get it. So I decided to pull out my Carchus Lafroig, coming in at 52.2 ABV. I said 53. 52.2 ABV, 104 proof. So let's kick it up a notch. Sorry, Emerald. Let's kick it up a notch. And let's pour this. And I'm really surprised that this is still on the shelf for around $100, 95 bucks, $100. Really, I am. And I know the this year's Carchus is out. I just haven't seen it yet. Ah, yes. Where are they getting Band-Aids, hate, iodine? Come on. Come on. Let's pour a little drop of this amazing juice. Greg, I can understand that at your age because, you know, when you were born, rye was the most popular drink back then. So when other things came out, you know, you older people have a tendency to stick with what you know. But this is called a single malt scotch. Scotch. Peated. You ought to branch out once and try it. But anyway, let me put this back in this here climate controlled bag because, wow, we're down to 100 people. Anyway, do not mind the little bits of ash that are floating around in there. It just adds more to the Lafroig. Top dog, we are. We are. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This is good. Hold on 1 second. I pulled the plug on something, and we gotta fix that. It will cause more problems than a weasel in a hen house, people. Here we go. Apologize for that, but you cannot pull out your power on all of your equipment because if you do, it's going to wreak havoc. I'm so sorry about that. 85 isn't bad. Like I said, it's still going between 95 and $100 here, Sugar Kitty. But let me get another sip of this. Wow. Mm. Well, you know, that was on purpose, right? When she dumped you out like that. She dumped you out on purpose because she was jealous because you were getting all the attention. Not because you were a cute baby, of course. That's for sure. That wasn't it. She was just jealous because you were now mom's favorite for just a short amount of time. Uh-huh. Well, that's why I said if we can find that cartridge for $70, I would pick up another bottle for 70. You know, at $100, it's still here. I'll wait because it's just not flying off the shelf. That's that price point that, you know, it will sit. You got to know what it is to appreciate it and pick it up. But I really would like to get this year's cartridge and see what it's like. But, you know, it's very good with it. And what's funny is I don't get the Band-Aids and hate thing that Bourbon gets. I don't get the iodine anymore and that people talk about on peated scotches, and particularly Lafroig. And, you know, I get a lot of people that say, I just can't do peated scotch. I just can't. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. I have taken people from it's terrible and don't like peated scotch to, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I never knew. I never knew. Look, let me take you on the journey. Let me take you on a journey. Let me prepare you for peat. And some people can jump right in at the deep end and go Lafroig, go Ardbeg, you know, go Octomore, and go, oh my gosh, it's fantastic. Great. Other people can't. I was into it, you know, 30 plus years ago. Got out of it. When I got back into it, and I've told the story, I went for Ardbeg, the committee release. I think it was Pirate. Yes, Pirate. They called it Ardbeg. And man, I wanted to drag my tongue across the carpet at the liquor store to try to get that taste off my tongue. And a half hour later, it was still there no matter what I drank. But once I got the taste, I knew I didn't give up. I went back and tried something that didn't have such a Mike Tyson punch to it. And then all of a sudden, it was like, oh, this isn't bad. And one of them that got me back into it was the High West Double Rye finished in the ex-peated Scotch barrel, because it had just enough of that peat there, but I still got the sweetness and the spice of the rye and that little bit of peat on the retrohale, how it worked with the spice and the sweetness of the rye, put the hook back in my lip. Then I went to the Wee Beastie in Ardbeg and tried that and went, oh no, went right to the 10 in the Ardbeg and just it was smooth sailing from there. But anyway, you can enjoy peat. It just will depend on your level of enjoyment. In other words, how much peat you like. But getting back to the tobacco in this, the smokier whiskeys are proving hands down. And I've had rye. I've had, the Scotch now from Lagavulin to now Laphroaig. So totally different peat levels, totally different tastes, and they've been exceptional. But right now, I would have to say this charred oak in the Lagavulin with this particular blend is the one that it's just taken it. Oh, Z-Man, it is a peat rye. Hey, Dan, cheers, man. Thanks for popping in, brother. Sorry that Egg Roll was too sleepy to stream on Thursday. I actually was going to pop on for a minute, but when the man says he's sleepy, he's sleepy. So I got it, brother. JH, what's up, man? Don't remember if I shouted you out. I might have shouted at you, but I just don't remember. Hey, Greg. So is it still around you? Wow. Hey, the Laphroaig is not bad with this, but I think that heavier charred barrel that they put the Lagavulin in, I think that's it. Yeah, let me know, Greg. Honestly, send me a text. Let me know. Because man, this is doing well. Truthfully, it is. It's doing well with this stuff. Sorry, hold on. I'm taking care of a little housekeeping here right now because one, because I can, and two, because why not? Hold on. Let me see if this is going to work. Come on. Hop up here, people. There we go. Bam. I got some room for a couple people here right now who want to chat a moment. There we go. All right. Wow. This, honestly, the peated whiskey, the smoky whiskey with this particular blend is the ticket. It is the ticket. So there's a guy here, Vegas Piper. He and I meet generally once a week, but we haven't been able to meet up the last 2 weeks. My work has kind of gotten in the way. But I know that he picked this up, and I'm going to have to get him a couple of samples of this peated whiskey for him to try this, because it's amazing when you get the right stuff with it. And who I have to get on here is going to be Bourbon Battalion. And I've already talked to him, 6 months ago about, hey, John, about joining me and talking about this stuff. And as you all know, Bobby is real big into cigars, in whiskey. And so he's like, yeah, he's all on board whenever I want him. But he and I just haven't been able to hook up. And I don't want to say I dropped it, but I dropped it a little bit. But I'm going to get this back on and have him on for another edition of Spirits and Leaf. And have him talk about the cigar end of it, because I know a lot of you here enjoy the cigars. You're not into a pipe. And as all as you know, I'm not a diehard smoker myself. I do enjoy quality tobacco from time to time with a great pour. I've been to several whiskey tastings to where they have paired it with pipe or cigar, but mostly it's cigars. It's not a pipe. And so I decided, well, I'm going to try to fill a little bit of that niche and bring this pub style chat to the YouTube pipe community.
Yeah, it's hard to do. Sometimes you get people in here that are just not quite right. So you're all good, Anthony.
I'm sorry, Z-Man, didn't hear you.
Sometimes you get people in here that are not all right. So, it's hard to control it.
Yeah, it's all under control.
Yes, sir.
Still on the.
Oh, yeah, that Lagavulin 9, I have that.
Yeah,
I have the Game of Thrones. Oh, shoot. Sorry, John. That was that. Hold on. Let me get that out of here. I'll get you back. There we go. Apologize.
Nope, no problem. Yeah, I haven't pulled this out for probably a year, but I wanted to do some lower proof peat tonight. To start with, anyway. Since you said you were doing peat, I had to get on the train tonight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it just goes so well with this particular pipe blend that it's without a doubt. And you know what, Sugar Kitty? I almost grabbed the Talisker Storm.
Yeah. The only two I've had are the Lagavulin, and then I do have a Kleinlich shut too.
Well, I almost grabbed that Talisker to pair it with this.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw the charred oak, and I was like, you know what? That probably should be the one that I try with this, because it's very smoky. It's very and peat-esque, let's say, on this particular blend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should go good with a pipe. Pipe, the cigar.
I never had the charred oak Offerman. I've got the just talking to Sugar Kitty and Chad, I've got the Ardbeg, the committee released the Scorch, which was the heavily charred casks.
Now, see, I don't have the Scorch. I have the committee release in, oh my gosh, it just popped out of my head. I could see it. Oh, shucks. Sorry, it just popped out of my head. I can see the label, and I actually looked at that also about bringing that out, and I may actually pop in the house and grab that one.
Was it Ardbeg or
just because?
Yeah, I got the Scorch committee release because the Crusaders did a review of it, and Will was raving about it, and it was on the shelf here. So he was looking for one, so I bought two, and then I sent Will a bottle. So I probably wouldn't have bought it, except they were just raving about it. I really do enjoy it.
That's it, Greg. It is the Ardcore. I was like, damn it, I know what it is. I just can't think of it. Can't think of it right now.
Anthony.
Yeah, Kitty, Lagavulin, and Kleinlich are the only two out of that range that I've had.
Just letting the dog out. She wanted out, so I was like, okay, come on.
Oh, okay.
Well, she won't come out if it rains.
Yeah.
Her bladder will burst before she'll come out and get her feet wet. That's for sure.
Oh, man.
Yeah. She just does not want to get her precious little paws. Oh, sorry. Gosh, I'm looking at what I'm doing, but I'm pressing the wrong keyboard. I've got a couple of keyboards here. But yes, thanks, Greg. It is the Ardcore. I was like, darn it, I can't think of it. I see it. And that Ardcore is really nice. The wife came out. I told you, this is a live stream, We never know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I was on Kent's stream this morning, and I started to turn the phone to the girl, and she goes, "No, don't do that." I'm like, "Oh,
That's right. Right. But yeah, the hardcore. I may run back in there and get that and try that with it.
Mhm.
But it's real good. But now that the temperature is dropped, well, we're back up to 101, and it says heavy rain. So that means it's probably raining up towards Henderson, Nevada, or in the northwest that way. That's more towards like Indian Springs, and that's where the prisons are.
But we got rain out here, Anthony, last week twice in Mesa, just east of Phoenix, and it came down hard, man. But it didn't last very long. Has your son seen anything in Yuma?
Hey, that American Patriot, Brian, pretty darn good for the money, isn't it? Truthfully, it is. For the money, I think it's really good. And if I'm not mistaken, did you or did you not order from Country Squire? Yeah, I agree with you, Sugar Kid. He got the ones to get, without a doubt.
This was way before the pandemic. My retired parents, because they knew I was a whiskey nerd, they're like, "Okay, like my birthday and Christmas, tell us what bottle you want. We'll go get it for you." That was my thing. So I had already had the Klein leash, and I told them I wanted the Lagavulin. So they went to a store, not knowing any better. My mom grabbed the Lagavulin, grabbed another Klein leash. She's like, "Oh wait, you have this one already." So then when my birthday rolled around, she's like, "Well, I'm not going to drink it." So they gave me the Lagavulin and the backup Klein leash. I was like, "Okay."
Hey, take it.
So I'm on my second bottle of the Klein leash right now.
Well, the Lion's Fire, it's hit and miss. When I say hit and miss, it's still here. Last year's Lion's Fire.
Okay. I'm still on the 2017 12-year-old yet. That was the one that Roy Aquavite kept raving about, and I was lucky to find a bottle. And that one's phenomenal.
Okay. Yeah. PNC, they're decent. They're decent. But also look at smoking pipes, Brian. They have a really good selection. And pretty much no different on prices. And then another good one is Watch City Cigars. I think they're out of Boston. And they have some good blends.
Yeah, Kitty, those were all over the place. They couldn't get rid of the stuff.
Greg, yeah. I got your text. Thanks. Appreciate it. Whenever, bud. Don't make a special trip, but if you're just going on your normal run, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, they couldn't get rid of the Game of Thrones bottles. They couldn't get rid of White Walker either.
Like a Johnny Walker?
Yeah, that White Walker.
And you know what? I wish I could have found some of those Game of Thrones bottles at that price. I would have bought the case, without a doubt. But they didn't do that here. Not at all. But I tell you what, it's just like when you find the right whiskey that just hits all the marks for you. This particular blend that I'm talking about right now, I'll go back up there. The peated whiskeys, the Scotch, that rye that I had, the Scotch seems to be way better. Way better.
So, Sugar Kitty, is it worth drinking at $4.95 or not?
At $4.95? Come on.
That's like the only good beer is free beer. Yeah,
yeah. Well, okay. Now that we're all older, I'm sure there are some beverages. If someone put it out to you, you would go, "Do you have water?"
There's a bar here that did an old man beer club with like a stamp thing. It was 16 or 17. It was like, Old Milwaukee, Hams, all these different ones. And I didn't know there was a Blatz Light. There are some light beer. Blatz Light.
I haven't heard Blatz in forever.
Yeah, there was Blatz Light. And most of the light beers are water. This was skunky and so bad you needed the taste of the pretzels to get the beer out of your mouth. It was horrible.
Me and a buddy, he had a Dodge Diplomat that was oxidized, and we were sitting there getting slammered one night. It was like 3 in the frickin' morning. This is in the 80s. And we took Blatz, we poured it all over the car and wiped it off with rags, and it took all the oxidation off the car. And that was a beer my dad drank. I'm like, oh my God.
I think I talked to you about this, John.
Yeah.
Stroh's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Stroh's, Meisterbrau. I like Meisterbrau. Tasted like cheap Budweiser if it was ice cold.
Meisterbrau, when we were in college, we played quarters with that stuff, and it was just horrible.
Oh, gosh.
And then Pabst had a light beer. It was called Jacob's Best. Jacob's Best Premium Light, and it came in a cardboard suitcase. And they were like, give that away if you bought like a case of PBR. They would give you the Jacob's Best.
But you could still go to the store and get PBR right now, which is scary.
Yeah. Well, so in the 70s, growing up, my dad taught us how to pull the old ring tabs for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was a sleepwalker, apparently, and they had to duct tape the refrigerator at night when I was 4 because we canned everything. They found me at the table in the middle of the night with a can of PBR and a jar of dill pickles. So they had to start duct taping. But my dad taught me how to pull the ring tab. I pulled when I was drinking and eating pickles in the middle of the night.
You had no problem sleeping after a little PBR, right?
No, I said, no wonder I got my taste for beer at a young age. So.
No, PBR and pickles would be good.
Sound like I'm pregnant, It's
Oh, sure. Sorry, Sugar Kitty. Oh, my gosh. Come on.
I would have liked to try the old Stroh's because the new cheap Stroh's, my God, that stuff garbage.
I have not seen Stroh's in forever.
It's like, $13 a 30-pack. It's along with Hams here. They made Hams cheap now, and it's horrible.
That's got to be a Midwestern thing. Are those breweries out near you, or?
Stroh's was originally from Detroit.
So you're there.
Hams was in St. Paul, Minnesota.
And is Ham still
But
being
they all
sold?
got bought out by Pabst, and they started making them as cheap as they possibly could.
Yeah.
So it's just garbage. They have made Old Style and Schlitz the way they were back in the 60s and 70s, and they're actually better than Miller or Budweiser. They're about the same price now.
Well, my grandfather always drank Stroh's.
Okay.
He'd go get a case of Stroh's. But in Pennsylvania, where I'm from, there was Duquesne beer, I think is what it was called. They're no longer, of course, in business, but that was a local. So that's like in Pittsburgh, Iron City beer, or IC Light. I used to like IC Light, but
what's up, people?
As I got older and realized there was way better beer, like I don't drink that other brand anymore that's been boycotted by pretty much everybody across the United States. I'm not even going to mention them on my channel.
There was another Pennsylvania bottle beer that came in a green bottle that was really good. To Anheuser-Busch got their hands on it.
One second, Anthony. I'll be your.
Hey,
no, it came in a green bottle out of Latrobe.
Was it Carlsbad?
No, Rolling Rock.
Oh, that's Panther Piss. Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
but that was not bad until Anheuser-Busch got their hands on it, and it's just, that's piss water now.
Oh, sorry, Jay, but yeah, I drank a lot of that, and that's one thing.
Yeah, but Greg, look what I'm drinking right now, so I can't say about cheap.
Oh, dude, that is the champagne of beers.
So
I used to have Z-Man those cans, but not formed, so just the piece of metal.
I bought those years ago at a
Sorry about that.
Yep.
It lifts up and it does something that's not appropriate, but
those are the 70s. Those were from the 70s.
Yeah.
I turned this way. Pittsburgh Steel
Yep.
can.
Yep, I used to
Yeah.
have those. I used to collect beer cans when I was a kid.
Yeah, this shit's so cool. I'll never see this again.
Yeah.
I was like, man,
Well-
that's fucking cool.
Anthony,
Well-
I had no intention of coming on any streams today, and then I saw you were on in a time slot I can actually jump on.
Well,
with.
I know,
Like,
and I heard you.
I'm enjoying this. Yes.
when I was watching you, but I was in the middle of stuff, so I couldn't pop on. But I'm like, and John even mentioned to me last week when I kind of filled in earlier for Livewire because they were coming home from
Yeah.
Pours in the Park. He's like, you got to go earlier. You got to go back to your earlier time slot. You got to go back to your earlier time slot.
I agree.
And I know you're not the only one, but people have been telling me that for a while. But, I wanted to keep the time slot open because Jim's schedule was all over the place. And at the time,
Yeah.
I was working afternoons. So, 2 to 10. So for me to pop on at 9 p.m. my time, midnight East Coast time, that was prime time. I was the Cheech of the West Coast.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I now have people that say, "Oh man, don't go earlier. Don't go earlier. I don't get off work until this time," or and West Coast people, or that's prime time.
Yeah.
So it's like, damned if I do, damned if I
Yeah, but you're
don't.
getting up at 3 a.m., right?
I get
Yeah.
up at 3 a.m. now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look it up.
You got to go at a time that's convenient for you then.
Well, it's
Yeah.
true, but you know what? I don't, and nobody owns a time slot. I know that. However, it's respect. I don't want to stream over Stacy. I don't want to stream over Livewire. I don't want to stream over anybody. You know what I'm
Yeah, I hear
saying?
you.
Because our pool of people is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
the same.
it's like that for every channel, Anthony.
We don't want to cross our streams. That's all.
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
You know what happens when you cross streams? Remember Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like Friday nights are just a shit show now because there's there's got to be 6 different channels that go Friday, so there's just no way to not go over somebody. But hey, it is what it is.
And that is so true.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah, I moved to Friday originally because it was slower. Me and Ben amicably switched, but now Fridays are crazy. So, oh well, it is what it is. We just we're rolling with it.
Exactly. So, do you
So
have
we're-
anything in particular in your glass tonight, there?
Well,
sir?
so I poured this before I even got on. Like I said, I just was searching the YouTubes and saw, wait a second, Anthony is streaming. Well, hot damn. Yeah, so I dropped everything I was doing, hopped on air. But yeah, I just poured a little bit of the Sagamore cognac finish. I was just kind of sipping
Nice.
on it and screwing around the computer here.
Cheers, Sean.
I know.
Yeah.
And I just
Cheers,
got
man.
a few
Cheers, John.
texts.
Cheers, Anthony. Cheers, everybody in chat.
I was just about talking about the old days.
Oh yeah. Hey, I don't care
The
what anyone
goblet?
says, John. That's my favorite beer.
These old glasses, I have so many different breweries. You can get these at antique shops now, these old goblets.
Yeah,
love
yeah,
these
yeah,
things.
yeah.
And you pay like $3 or $4 for these things.
They got
Hey,
the little holes at the
You
bottom.
take
of
that.
it.
You take that 24 ouncer, and you put
Oh,
that
it's a
goblet
16,
there.
bud. Yeah.
Oh, that's the 16. I'm sorry. I get the 24s here.
It's,
I get 2 of them for like $3.50.
yeah. So Friday night, I went to every little hick town now has got a Dollar General here now. So I went to get a can of Pringles before I jumped on Sean's stream. And
There you
I
go.
walked by the Dollar General here sells beer. A
Mhm.
4-pack of pints was $3.40
For a pint?
for a 4-pack.
All right.
You can't pass that up.
There were
There you
2 in the cooler, and I grabbed both 4-packs.
What
Everybody craps on Miller High Life. I mean, for what it is, I think it's a decent beer, man.
It's good.
Look, it is a premium beer. That's why
Is
they
there
call
anything
it
better than
champagne
looking at
beer.
that right now? Look at that.
It's
Nice
beautiful.
amber color there, yeah.
Isn't that
So-
beautiful?
So Miller Lite is an excellent beer, but you can drink 6, 7, 8 of those, and
Keep
you're
on
not.
barbecuing.
And still go, and you can still go to work.
Which
Yeah.
I'm running back and forth to keep an eye on my smoker. I've got some half-pound burgers in the back end of the smoker right now. So
Very nice, man.
Oh, sure. Tell me about it.
I went and bought a $4 plastic burger press the other day. I was given it the first try today. So you can make, depends how much meat you put in. You can make up to a quarter pound if you fill the thing, and then it's got a lifter underneath it.
Yeah.
So you take it out and then flip them onto a tray. So I got like a 4-pound thing of ground beef, and I made a bunch of burgers.
Also, Baller, what's up, man? Cheers, brother. So, what's everybody else got in the glass? I know, of course, John just poured the Miller. I saw Z-Man holding up the Miller Lite there.
I've got Lagavulin in the glass too. So.
Okay, cool. A little Buffalo Trace as well. Nice. Anthony, what you got to pair with your pipe there?
So tonight I was reviewing this particular tobacco, and I wanted to see how well a peated whiskey in general would pair, because last night I paired the second bowl of this I ever had with the peated high rye, or excuse me, the peated high west double rye that was finished in a bourbon barrel with this, because I needed something to cleanse the palate, but have enough gusto to compete with the deep smoke, earthy, woody flavor of the tobacco.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, let me try this, because I haven't touched it in a while. It's unique in its flavor, and some people don't like it, but it was the whiskey that turned me back to Peat.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's still out there. It's still out there, but you have to look. When I say look, it's at Total Wine, and they still have it. And it's one of those that I do recommend, but it's a peculiar taste to it because it's rye, but it has a peat-esque to it.
Gotcha.
And so it's a little peculiar. It's the best way to describe it. But it's a nice, sweet, peaty. When I don't mean peaty as in like thick Ardbeg, Lagavulin, Lafroig.
More of a white peat.
Yeah.
But it's heavier than Highland Park or Bunnahabhain.
Gotcha. So kind of a medium then.
It's no Balcones peat.
Light to very, very low medium.
It's not this guy right here.
Well, that's Balcones, and there's just nothing good about it.
No, Anthony, you need to try that.
You're a liar. Have you tried this, Anthony?
No, it's just not here. But I know me. I wouldn't pick up Balcones.
So
I
this
wouldn't
is
just pick.
I mean, this is an American single malt, so, and it's peated. And I really think that you would dig this if you tried it.
Yes. You would love that one.
It is excellent, man.
Yeah, we both have that bottle thanks to Mr. Great Shot down there in Texas.
Yeah, same batch. Really? It's killer.
So I gotta hit him up, because he's very close to one of the distilleries that turned me back to Texas whiskey, which is Still Austin.
Heck yes.
And you've all heard me talk about that.
Thanks to him.
He is basically a Still Austin clearinghouse at the moment.
Pretty much he is, but some of the stuff that he can get, he can just walk right over. Well, not literally walk, but he can go right over to the distillery and pick it up for me. And he has offered. I'm not ashamed to ask him or anything like that. But I don't. How do I say this? I don't like asking. I'll ask Jeff. I'll ask Greg. I'll ask any of you guys in a heartbeat. Hey, you got this? You got that? Okay, let me know what the price is. And if you're at the store, tell me. And if I want it, I'll Venmo you or PayPal. You know what I'm saying? I'll get it. You guys, I just don't have a problem.
Well, not that I want to give Mark more work to do, but he's a very generous, very kind man. I don't think he'd have an issue with it as long as he has the time. But he doesn't. Great dude.
He does not. But like I said, any one of you guys here right now, and pretty much, I don't think there's anybody in chat that I wouldn't just straight out ask, hey, you got that? Okay. Next time
Does
you're out
anybody
here, hand
notice
delivered to my
we've
house.
got Mark going way down the Peat Road right now. He even bought a spring bank last week.
Who did? Oh, yeah, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this. So I mean, he was drinking a couple peated scotches before that. But yeah, I mean, so I guess John's probably told you this, but he actually sent John his bottle because he didn't like it at first.
Yeah, he didn't like it. He just sent it to me.
And then what happened? I guess he got one for himself, right? He got a
Yeah,
he got
I think
a
he
second
bought
one.
the last two that were on the shelf.
Because me and John wouldn't stop talking about it. And he's like, well, maybe I didn't give it a fair try. So we went and got another one, and now he loves it. Now he's just like totally in love with it.
It was a lot of sweet cherry wood barbecue smoke to start with, and now that I'm about halfway through, now it's got onto that heavily Isle of Peat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it's
you
so
never-
good.
Ryan, what's up, brother?
You never throw anything away immediately. You got to let it air
Oh,
out.
but then he went back and got a bottle and tried it for the second time, and now he loves
Yeah.
it. So,
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Like myself, he still can't get on the Lafroig train, but that's fine.
You know what? You say that. However, as you develop that palate and drink more peat, you
It's not-
will appreciate it.
It's not even that, Anthony. It's just, well, I mean, so all I've had, in fairness, is Lafroig 10, and I despise it. I've tried it 4 or 5 different times now. And it's just, the way their peat comes across is just not pleasant to me.
if you can find a, I don't know if they're still making it, but there was the standard triple wood from a few years ago.
Yeah.
If you can get a pour of that is a very good bottle. You might enjoy that one.
Okay.
Sean, my first episode of Scotch was a Lafroig
Cheers,
10.
Jigs.
Because I thought it'd be really good. And that peat destroyed the
Hey,
back of my
Mike.
tongue. And I just kept
Sugar
drinking
Kitty
it.
Lore, man. Oh, Lore is awesome.
I have not had lore, I don't believe.
Lore is freaking life changing.
It is, and I have a bottle.
Oh man,
Going
that
on,
is a
Stoved.
bomb.
How exciting is
I'm
this,
not starting
Mike?
with lore, but I will start with this because we got to prove Anthony wrong.
Hold on. I'm getting
What do you got?
Hell, yeah, you just, is that a fresh crack there, Mike?
No, I've cracked it one time. I wanted to let it open up. So
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that Friday night.
that's,
Now, Mark Emmanacker and I are going to exchange samples between our 2 single barrels.
Hey,
that's-
Mike
that's
and
not
Herb,
fun.
sorry.
All right.
I didn't
tried
didn't
this one,
call
it
you out
wasn't-
earlier, but I saw you. So thanks for popping in, brother. Appreciate you.
Give us a live review, Mike.
yeah, this one is not the same as the one Vic brought. I think he got from John, right? Didn't you get it? Didn't John Kranz? Didn't you give Vic one? Somebody got Vic a
No.
Balcones.
Mine's from New York.
Oh.
I've had a sample from
Mine's a local one here in
California,
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
but I haven't had a bad one. Man, Balcones cast strength picks, man, they're just
The
that's
100
where it's
proof
at.
rye I can't stand, but the cast strength picks.
The picks is
So
where it's
this
at.
is 126.6.
Speaking of great shot,
Hell
here
yeah.
it is.
That'll light you up. Hey,
Yeah,
there's
Mike.
Mark.
Yeah, Mike. What do you
Cheers,
think?
buddy.
He's making the face.
It's chocolate, man. It's just chocolate.
Dude.
That's freaking cocoa powder, man.
But this isn't the same cocoa powder I had on the last one.
And
Yeah, it is. Once that air starts going through your mouth, you start getting that like somebody just popped the can of cocoa powder, and
Yeah,
it's
the
like,
Hershey's cocoa powder. Just
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh, dude,
Well,
and it
look.
just sits there. It coats your mouth with cocoa.
I mean that funk with
Chocolate's
that
good.
chocolate finish, man, is so good.
oh
Maybe,
yeah.
Dude,
maybe even like an Ovaltine kind of thing going on. Oh,
Yeah.
just,
See, we talk about him,
That's
and
good
look
stuff.
who shows up.
But it's not
The
sweet.
man himself.
It's not sweet.
I think
No, it's
somebody
not super
called
sweet,
them and
no.
said, "Hey, Anthony and the gang are talking about you. You need to get on."
I just hope that the single barrel program stays intact with Diageo, though.
I'm telling
Because
you,
the
man.
picks they're putting out are just fire.
Yeah, that is the best thing Balcones does by a mile. Their
Yeah.
picks are ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
True Blue
fair.
cast strength picks are really good too.
So you may have to drop some of those off to me.
And,
Sean,
and this
that's
guy,
a
if anybody
sample
ever
of that.
sees this, just buy it. Don't ask any questions. I don't care what it costs. That's
Yeah.
So this is the blue corn finished in Cabernet. My God, dude, it's just
Mm.
I'm pretty
Bottle is-
sure this is one of only a couple Texas whiskeys I've had that I thought were really good. We thought were good. Like most Texas, I'm not a
I mean,
Most
Balcones, the
Balcones,
cast
I'm not a
strength
fan.
rye and the single malt is basically where it's at.
Yeah. I've never had the Still Austin. I'm not sure what Sean thinks of Still Austin.
I love
I
it.
got to pour a little more of this.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier when we were talking about a very special man that's done some having deliveries for me. I think Mark has hand delivered 7 Still Austins. I think that's the right count currently,
Not
plus
the-
some other stuff.
It's the cast strength, Mike.
Yeah.
That shit is really good, dude.
It's good, huh? I've not seen it. But.
If you can get a hold of a certain fellow, or there's a few fellows that down in the Texas area that can get the Nancy picks, dude. They
Yeah,
are
really?
and she's still blending for them.
yeah,
She was in
they're
the chat last week
Also,
talking about going back and blending for them.
So, Sean, we talked about the driftless pick that I got to pick up.
yeah,
I've had 4 people text me now. I'm like, become the driftless rye pipeline, I think.
dude, that pick is crazy good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what I got to do one day is find somebody that can reach out to Nancy. And I need to have her on a stream, particularly one where I do a episode of Spirits and Leaf.
Okay.
I received a text from somebody who specifically pointed out a comment that she made on an extremely popular stream, and I won't mention 21090 because I don't want to give it away.
She just shows up and screams.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about Todd and Andy on this stream.
Oh,
No,
Todd's stream was fun to watch this
No. I don't want to.
Todd brewing in the garage was fun to watch.
However,
Oh,
I will say,
he was doing
I
that
will
shit right.
say for anybody that's watching this now or who watches it later, if you're not sub to 21090, you need to. But
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I can't even
but
spell
she made a comment on there about her cigar blend, the Joseph Magnus. Okay. Well, I'm not going to give it away, but it's not what people think. Let's just say that. And I need to have her on this stream because it's not what people think and why she came up with that. And I'm not going to say it out loud, but it had nothing to do with cigars.
Okay.
It never does, though.
That's all I'm going to say.
None of the blends were ever with cigar blend.
Gotcha.
And I've got a screenshot of her comment.
Oh, really?
Yes. And so I need to have her on here
Yeah, for sure, man.
and on a
Yeah.
Spirits and Leaf episode.
Gotcha.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
Hey,
just-
Paul,
Todd-
Mikey, bro, love to hear what you think about that, man.
Yeah, Todd was brewing my favorite style of beer today, Oktoberfest.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just blending stuff there, Anthony.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you do, Brian. I know you do.
So, Paul, yeah, tell us what you think of that Balcones rye.
Absolutely, Viking
purple
bourbon.
herbal.
I want to know because you know I like my ryes, but it's Balcones. So
But the 100 proof rye from Balcones, no. Cast strength pick is where you need to go.
So in order for me to really go back to Balcones, people are going to have to hand deliver me some.
You're muted, Mike. I guess
samples.
you know that. Okay.
Well, Mike does that only because you should be
'Cause I'm
able
chewing.
to understand what he
fair.
says just by reading his lips.
Hey, Anthony, real quick. I've shown this bottle before on my stream, but for anybody that didn't see it there, because I know Jigs was mentioning he can't get Still Austin. If you can get sealbacks in your state, then you can get Still Austin because this is a pinhook pick, but it's actually Still Austin. So this is the 2022 collaboration series, and it's a pinhook. It just says straight bourbon whiskey on the floor, aged 4 years. And this is edition number 2. But this is definitely Still Austin. It says so on the back, and it says so on all the stuff on sealbacks. So if you have sealbacks, if you order through them, then you can get a Still Austin. This is a Still Austin cast strength pick. And it's also very good. Just, yeah.
And that was a Penelope?
It's a pinhook.
Pinhook. Okay.
Speaking of people that go to a seal box, this is actually one from Wisconsin that Nancy did blend.
Oh, cool.
And yes, she does, Sugar Kitty. You're
That's
absolutely
the J.
right.
Henry LaFlamme
You're
Nancy
absolutely
blended
right.
this one.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, Paul. It's a heavy, dense rye, but that's what I like about it, man. It's
Yeah.
just
So
the darkness.
Viking bourbon. If you're out this way and you want to hand deliver a sample of that, I would love to try that live. So if you're
America.
out this way,
Hell yeah,
not that I'm asking or anything like that, just so you know.
freedom, bitches.
But me and Balcones just have never gotten
Is that
along.
pizza, Mike? Are you
But
eating pizza in
Sean
front of
and
me?
other people are always telling me about these
No,
I
I
need
want-
something in my belly
wonderful-
before we start.
Balcones
Ooh.
pours they have.
telling you,
And
man. Get it.
I'm just
You
on
get
the
it.
fence.
You get the peated single malt and you get a cast strength rye pick, you will love them.
If you don't, then you're a communist.
And that's the cash stroke right there.
Now that cast strength you guys see, man, is phenomenal.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Sugar Kidney, man, the flam is
That
just something
that
amazing.
was the bottle that brought me back
Yeah,
to Texas
that-
whiskey.
that-
And in
that-
2022, it was my most impressive bottle because
Yeah.
you could not have gotten me to put a Texas whiskey to my lips until
Yeah.
somebody brought me a
That's a-
sample.
that's
And
a
I
Nancy
was like,
Fraser
are you
going.
kidding me? And then Sean, of course, and then Charles said, I had to get a bottle. And they were
Yeah.
adamant.
It's true.
Adamant.
Yes, sir.
And when I say adamant, that they made it a point to tell me every time they saw me almost, I needed to get a bottle. So I did get a taste, and I went and got a bottle so I could really, really get into it. And I was hooked
Yep.
on the Still Austin.
I haven't seen Charles for a while.
Yeah, he's been super busy, man. We actually were chatting on Instagram just last week, but yeah, he's just swamped with work. No time for extra
Exactly,
stuff, so-
Sugar Kitty. I'm not asking. No. And no one's ever under the obligation that when they're in Vegas to hand deliver me a sample to my house. Absolutely not.
Anthony, have me and you ever done a sample exchange? I feel like not.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did we?
It's been shit. A good year or more. But
Okay.
yeah.
Do you still have my address? And actually, well, here, because I don't know that I still have yours. So
Well,
if you don't.
I got you got my phone number and stuff.
Oh, that's right.
We can
Yeah, I
exchange stuff.
probably do.
Yeah.
Let me make, because this is a new phone. Let me make sure I do have it, because I'll send you some Texas stuff, and maybe you can change my mind on Lafroig.
There you go.
Because yeah, you gotta try some of these Balcones picks, man. They're not. I know that the standard Balcones, the Shelfers, are not great. I'll agree with that. Yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah.
So yeah, your number didn't change. You just got a new phone.
Yeah.
Sugar Kitty. Not asking for samples, but here's my address.
I would have said the same thing, but mine's usually a 1-900 number. But
So if you want to send me something,
For sure.
Yeah, I'm not asking, but and you know what? I will say this. The people that come here and stuff like that, I have got samples out the wazoo. But I would have never gotten those to try because it's just not here. And some of them don't, they just want to send me them. They don't want, how do I say this? They don't want to be known, which is fine. Absolutely fine.
Yep.
But
hey,
I tell
Sugar
you what,
Kitty, send in Kilhoman too. Yes.
yeah.
I have.
Well, and I talk about Jeff all the time, and not in a bad way, but you know, I have learned so much from others, and I'm gonna call Jeff out, and I've said this many times, but sometimes it's hard to understand a taste or a nosing until you actually get an actual dram of it.
Yep.
To sit down and experience it, and then listen to what others have to tell you.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, that's what they're talking about, a clean peat. So the Kilhoman Mockier Bay that he sent me, it blew my mind. I mean, it was nothing I've ever tasted before, but yet it had the peat, but it was clean. It was crisp. It was fresh. And it's not the Lafroig. It's not the Lagavulin. It's not the Ardbeg. And that's when I really understood and learned that peat is different. Depending upon the distillery and where it is dug out of the ground at, let's just say. And wow, that changed my perspective on peat. But I would have never been able to identify that note if it wasn't for Jeff. So the people that drop off stuff here, that hand deliver me things, that show up here on my door, I'm grateful to that, because as somebody that talks whiskey and stuff all the time, it's so hard to understand what somebody is telling you until you actually have a sip of that particular bourbon, that particular Scotch or Irish in front of you to go, oh my gosh, I got it.
Yep.
And so that's what I tell people about tobacco, because I get that now as I go, you have to experience it and you have to try it, because until you do,
You don't know.
you don't know what it is. And when I was talking about this particular blend, I've never really experienced Katerini, but I've had Rustica. But when you stove it the way they do, and that's just a process, it changes things. It really adds a different flavor, texture. I'm trying to think of the words to describe it, but
No, it's just
until you have it,
it's just
you
something
can't
different.
just put your finger on it, because that changes when you do certain processes to it. It changes it from its original form. Not that it's in a bad way. Okay, not that it's in a bad way, but in how they age it, how they process it, gives that particular tobacco, in the same way with whiskey, its distinct flavor.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for
I didn't
some
even
of the
know they aged tobacco.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
tobacco that you buy will age in the tin if you don't open it, and or if you put it in your mason jar, it will change. It will change or open up. Let's just say. You know what I mean? Just like we talk about whiskey.
So what is
It comes
considered
alive.
an old tobacco, like a
Oh, he
well-aged
moved. Miss you,
tobacco?
buddy.
What was that, Mike? I didn't hear you.
What's considered an old tobacco, or
So, I have
like
been
an
lucky
18-year
enough.
Scotch is when they start to get
Okay.
aged well. Right?
I've been lucky to get blends of tobacco that no longer exist from 5, 8, 10 years ago. People have sent me samples from 2013, 2014, 2016. And it's just because the company merged, or they just quit making that. And other companies tried to match it, but let me just say, they just don't have the recipe. You can see what I'm saying? The exact recipe. And there is some stuff that's just no longer in existence that other companies have tried to duplicate and have come extremely, extremely close. And in the pipe community, you'll hear people talk about Frog Morton. It was a particular blend that's no longer made. And people have cellared tins of it because they bought 5, 8, 10 over time. And now that it's not in existence, they'll bring it out, and some people will share that so you can experience it. So just like we do, it's no different. It's just the product is different.
Cheers, Moose.
Okay. And when you taste a tobacco, one that you can't get anymore, but it's been aged another 10 years sitting in that tin, it's hard to believe that it will change, because it's not like whiskey in a bottle. Whiskey in a bottle will open up, but then after a certain time, when it gets to a certain level, it can go flat, and that's just my term. It loses it. So when Tito talks about it and he adds the marbles to take up the space to reduce the air that's in there, and he wants to see how that will affect the bottle over time. And because of his profession, you know, he has a good, let's just say, hypothesis. But some tobaccos age extremely well.
Let's be honest. We don't know if Tito's a good teacher. No, I'm just
Well,
kidding.
no, we don't. But that's true. That's true.
I always
But what
think
I'm
it's
just
a
saying
good
is-
idea to dump pretty bottles that are pretty low into smaller sample bottles. That way, you're not getting
Holy
tremendous
smokes.
air
Look
influence.
at this. Look at
Moose
this.
in the
shit.
house.
Look who is in the house. Damn.
I love what Sugar Kitty said, where he's like, "Did I say kill Homan 3 times?" And all of a sudden,
Yes.
Moose appears.
And Anthony, I was gonna. Oh, go ahead.
What's that, John?
Oh, I was just gonna throw out there because you talked about that Peat note. How about that same Belvini 14 that you have that I have, the 03 one?
Okay, one more time, John. I'm sorry.
So we were talking about the clean Peat note on the Kilhoman.
Yes.
I mean, we both have that same 03 Belvini.
Oh yeah.
That is really different as well.
Oh my gosh. That Belvini, that sherry on there is
If anybody goes into a store and they see Belvini Peat Week, 14-year-old, and it says 2003, just buy it.
buy it.
Good to
Buy
know.
it.
No,
If you
sugar
can
kitty. This is
find
the old Peat Week.
Hey, speaking of 14, just real quick, did anybody else see Trev's short where he walked in a random store and got a Stag 14 just sitting there for MSRP?
No.
Freaking ridiculous, man. Like Trev, that has to be like the luckiest score of all. Like,
He
how
was
is a
on
Stag 14 even still sitting around?
He was
got
on Vic's
MSRP.
He got-
Fix
he
stream
got-
last night going, it was the craziest thing that ever happened. He goes, that's never happened to me before in my life.
He got
That's
he
freaking
got-
nuts,
he got,
man.
He got CYOPD for MSRP a couple years ago.
Didn't everybody?
Yeah.
No, I'd rather have the Stag 14 if I'm honest.
UIPD is not even worth the MSRP.
My son got it a year ago on a raffle, and he showed me the bottle. I'm like, "What'd you pay for it?" He showed me the receipt, and I'm like, "No way, $65." Like, holy shit! Man.
It's not a bad $65 bottle.
No, I agree.
So
But it's not
I just want to make everybody aware, in 13 minutes, the show of shows is about to begin.
You're not kidding.
Live wire whiskey.
Live
And
wire.
that's something that you don't want to miss, because guaranteed whatever happens on that stream probably won't happen again just like it happened tonight. So you
Ignore
don't
my
want to miss it.
basketball shorts. I wasn't planning on being on a stream.
So just so you know, 13
I love how you have
minutes.
that shirt and basketball shorts on.
Dude,
Yes.
I was just wearing the white tee that's under this originally, and I was like, "Holy shit, Anthony's on."
And
Yeah,
he
you gotta-
put a hat on, he put a shirt on, he got cleaned up. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I was naked before I got on here.
Oh shit, that's too much. None of
Oh.
us are that much in the bag. So please.
How naked?
Moose, I need to
Getting
talk to you
pulled
sometime.
away.
Text me about that driftless rye again. Apparently, I got to do a mule to Ontario at some point. So, Peter White got a sample of that driftless, and now he wants one.
Thanks to the fancies there, a little bit of that action.
Hold on right there. Don't move it.
Yeah, this is a gift from the fancies, ladies. If you're out there and you're seeing this, love you.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Jigs.
That's a gift.
No.
Yeah, that looks cool.
No, I'm not. I need a couple months to recuperate from last time, dude. So first off, so there was the 7 chugs that were listed on the short, but then that rare breed that I didn't kill on the short, apparently that got emptied at some point that night. Because when I went downstairs the next day, it was gone. It was all gone. So I don't know how that happened. I don't really recall doing that, but it was empty. Yeah, that's what did me in. The 2 to 3 ounce chug of rare breed kind of was the nail in the coffin.
So I'll talk about this when I do my bottle kill tonight, but for the record, I always know how much is in the bottle before I go to kill it.
Thanks, Moose.
I don't ever do that. Mark's
Yeah.
much smart. Mike's much smarter than me.
I always double check it because,
Yeah, you don't know how much you're drinking and what proof you're drinking it out.
Well,
I just kind of
and-
grab bottles I think are low, and then it doesn't always work out real well.
I just can tell you how many times we've seen somebody get halfway through a bottle kill and their eyes are like, oh shit.
This is way
Exactly.
more than I thought it was.
Have a good night.
Hey,
Have a good night.
so, I mean,
Check out
I'm sure
this.
we'll talk about this on Livewire, but Adam, wherever you are, man, love you, buddy.
Well, love you, brother.
Here. Check this out.
Cheers. Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers
The
to
rig
Mr.
shirt.
Shits.
That's the official Vic shirt right there.
Mhm.
Adam
Big
will
Vic,
be back.
Big Vic gave that to me. I didn't even make it. He made it himself.
There you go.
It gave it to me. Oh, T-Rob says he plans on killing a few.
Plan on killing a few. Yeah.
Well, that can't be good.
No, that's the scary part, Mike, is that people will actually save the last ounce for the stream.
I
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I do that
I'm pretty
too.
sure you saved the last 3 or 4 ounces for the stream there a couple times, Sean. I'm just saying.
I may have. Yeah, dude. So
I got a pretty good one sitting on the floor right here. So.
But yeah, I remember this is one of those that I started chugging. I was like, "Holy shit, that's way more than I thought."
Yeah, no, everybody's like, that is not a bottle kill. Do not do it.
Yeah.
No record is that important.
They're into it for 10 seconds. They're going, wait a minute.
But think about
Maybe.
it. How many people on Livewire who killed epic bottles like a Pappy or a Four-Gate
Yeah.
on Livewire?
Those are like Durrell kind of kills right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
Or
You know-
the Stack Junior. Yeah.
Yeah, Chug Norris out there, wherever you are, Norseman.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
wasn't on Livewire, but that
Dude.
was crazy.
I've seen him hoover a few bottles. I'm like, holy smokes, that was not an ounce or even 2.
That's a cool dude because he owned it and he said it.
Oh yeah,
and
he knew
did
he
it.
was in. Yeah, he had to
Good
finish.
Good
So
for you.
speaking of that, I
He
actually
had
got
to
a
feel
pour.
awful the next day,
Misjudged,
though.
Yeah.
I actually had a pour of tag along on Friday. I think it probably was the last pour I ever seen in a bar.
Like it?
And I will say, I enjoy tag along. I did like that. It was pretty darn good.
All right.
Well, I tell you,
I
I
hear you,
finally got
T-Rob.
all my bookers out of boxes. And earlier today, I'm watching Stacy's stream, and I'm like reorganizing all my bottles. I dumped out probably a half dozen bottles that I just don't drink, and they just take up space. I'm like so running out of room. You know what I mean? It's like,
Those could have been your bottle chug bottles.
No.
Well, honestly, Mike, that's kind of why I did the record as well, because I had a lot of bottles that were really low. Granted, not as low as I thought they were. And I was like, I need to make space, man, because I'm out of shelf space. So we got to do something. Because I've basically built as many shelves as I want to build in this room. I'm going to do a short one down this wall to my deer head, but after that, I'm not building anymore. So bottles need to start getting emptied. So
yeah, like, I mean, I was looking and I'm like, I don't like this Maker's Mark pick. Why did I keep it? Why do I still have it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even like it. Like, it's just sitting there. Nobody's going to want to drink it when they come here with everything else here. And so it was like, dump. And then I was like, you know, another one, I'd be like, I haven't drank this in like a year and a half. Dump.
oh, you're dumping
Just
whiskey. That
taking
makes me sad,
space.
Mike, but
I know it made me sad too, because yeah.
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do to make space.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
it's just- well, it was like consuming the bar over here, not just the shelves. It's consuming the countertops over here. And it's like, dude, I freaking love going to Greg McDonald's house, but I don't want it in my bar.
And you don't want
It goes all
yeah.
along the floors and you know.
Yes.
Here, just real quick, Anthony, if you don't mind soloing me for half a second, let me show you my problem right now. So, just for the record, this shelf goes all the way down this wall, which is probably another 12 feet that way, and then down that wall back there, and then everything you see behind me. But still, with all that, here's what's happening on the floor beside.
Oh.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's normal. That's like bourbon.
Yep.
I just gotten empty liquor boxes from the grocery store, and I just have boxes all over the floor now.
Yeah, and I do the same thing. I put them in a box, and then they go in a closet, another closet, and then I just leave them that way.
So needless to say, bottles need to go.
Yeah, and then I realized like I've got a lot of Heaven Hill, Elijah Craig barrel proof. I've got a lot of, Four Roses picks. I got a lot of Russell's picks. I got a lot of Knob Creek. I'm like, damn, I got a lot of like the same things too. For the record, I poured none of those out.
Good.
That's a lot of bottles, man.
Yeah, JH, yeah, man.
I just want to put this one out there too. We talked about rye earlier. This having 2 samples this weekend, this stuff is a revelation.
Hell yeah,
Which one
man.
is
Corbin
that?
Cash.
Corbin Cash single barrels.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna jump off, Anthony.
Oh,
I gotta
man.
go get ready to set
Don't
up.
jump at your age. I don't want you to break a hip, man.
I don't
But
wanna
I
break
will
a
be
hip.
sending
I'll see you
people
guys in a
over
little
in
bit.
Sure,
5 minutes to Livewire.
All right, see you, brother.
Cheers, you, Mike. Yeah, I'll be over there in a little bit. Just
Yep.
say
Same
cheers or farewell to Adam. I guess I don't know what the right thing is, but anyway, love you, buddy, wherever you're at. Hopefully we see Adam sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I texted him the other night. He's doing pretty well. So
Yeah,
good.
I'm sure he is. He's got important stuff to do, so
Yeah.
that's good. But
Well, yes, he does. Yes, he does.
He's got a wife and a kid. We all got other things that we got to do. So
yeah,
Hey, you got to take care of life. Absolutely.
that's it.
I'm the same way.
Mhm. So while we got everybody here, so they know to give them a few minutes, I'm going to end the stream. Panel, just stay here a minute. But I'm going to end the stream so everyone can go over to Livewire Whiskey.
Got it.
Mike will be starting his stream here in 4 minutes. You don't want to miss that. And this is just a kind of a warm up before them. So I appreciate you all coming over here. And again, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe, click on that bell so you get notifications of our next edition of Spirits and Leaf. I look
everybody drink some Peat.
to seeing you all again. And I just want to raise a glass to everybody and say cheers and
Cheers.
thank you very much.
Cheers,
Look forward
Anthony.
to seeing you in a week. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
All right, brother. Have a good week, man.